are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Urban Platform, episode number 2. Aaron, what is the question we are going to answer today? Aaron, say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody is surviving Code Red. As you know, I like starting off with a random question of the day. Then we'll get to our more serious topic. So, random question of the day. If you were a color of the alphabet, what number from 1 to 10 would you be?
10.
Okay. Love it. Love it. I'm going to go with Mwahaha.
I love that. And I love your random questions of the day. It always manages to throw me off. Okay.
So, on to the real question today. I have it worded right there, so I will read it off my whiteboard so that we don't get the wording wrong and then have a completely different topic than for what we had planned. And I will specify, as planners, we often don't plan things. Just keep that in mind, right, Mo? Like, how many times did you just go like, I'm going to wing it?
Too many times. And honestly, for everyone out there, I've screwed up a couple times trying to do that, especially for random class presentation. Remember those 5-minute speeches or something we would have? What were they called? After dinner speeches in high school? Oh yeah, one time I fully winged it and I choked.
Did it have toast?
Yes, it was like, was it 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
I'm sure you started off at 5 and you ended up rambling for 10.
Knowing me, I ended it off in 10 minutes, but yeah. Listen, it's good to wing some things, but you got to know what to wing and what not to wing. That's a lesson to all the viewers. Okay, what's the question, Aaron? Please tell us.
So our question of the day is how technology can be used more efficiently or more properly for today's circumstances. By today, we don't mean 2020. By today, we mean COVID 2020. Now, slight disclaimer, we are not medical professionals. Whatever we say is not the best advice necessarily. Listen to public health officials. But we will be making some recommendations maybe throughout this podcast. Disclaimer, we are not public health we are not public health officials. We are just opinionated people. So keep that in mind going forward.
Oh yeah, and look, I know this question sounds kind of general, but basically where we were going to go about this is how maybe you can use technology more efficiently when you're at home. Things you could do during this time, especially, I know there's a lot of people who are not really liking the new university system we have, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of problems with it. But at the same time, we got to understand that it's technically the first semester they're doing this, where they've transitioned to online. So let's cut them some slack. Let's be a little bit more supportive. Give good criticism, because look, you can give as much hate as you want, but it's not going to help anyone. Okay, you can literally act like the YouTube comments page, where there's a lot of irrelevant comments that are made. And I get it, their opinions, hateful comments are opinions as well. But if you actually want something to get better, give some criticism. Okay, so whatever criticisms you do have, list them in the comments and list solutions. Because if you're giving criticisms, then propose a solution, right? So start off by, I guess, thinking a little bit more practically in things, being a little bit more optimistic, because I feel like in a time like this, we need to show more optimism. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to show more optimism. And if there's something you don't like, don't be, I'm going to sit there and comment on Facebook all day. Go out there and do something about it. You could, for whatever cause, there's always something you could do about it. Whether it's education is always a big one. You could go out there and use technology to educate people, but just ranting, life sucks. Life sucks. I'm going to go to McDonald's and buy myself a Happy Meal to make myself happy. That won't make you happy. Like, there are things that will make you happy, and it's just a matter of doing a small action, taking a moment to step back, as I roll back, pathetically, and step back, take a look at the bigger picture, and propose solutions. So on that note, Mo, I have a question for you. In terms of technology, what would you say you use more of these times? A, your phone, B, your TV, C, your laptop, D, I'm so done with technology, I don't even know.
Wow. So you know what? I'm gonna answer. Can I just say it's a mix of everything, and can I give you an order to like what I use the most, and then
Sure.
second? So okay. So I find myself been using my laptop number one because I can check my text messages, I can check Facebook, I can still connect with social media. But now it's not as much as you know what scrolling through my newsfeed, scrolling through my Instagram newsfeed as well. I love watching a lot of YouTube. Let's count that as TV during my free time, listening to a podcast while I'm working, responding to emails and messages to friends, but also to colleagues, to the fellow students, to my awesome association colleague right here, Aaron. And yeah, it's more. I'm noticing that during quarantine, I'm starting to like I'm trying my best to use my time more in a practical manner, which will get things done. Right. I've been trying to have a shift of mindset. So I would say my laptop first, second, my phone, third TV, and fourth. What was there a fourth option? Or the fourth
So done
option
with
was you're done
technology.
with it. I'm done with tech because just of how constantly I think I can make the argument that we rely on technology more than ever now, right? Is that a fair
Yeah.
statement?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I know like five people's phone numbers. That's about it. Mo, sorry if you're not one of them.
I knew it was going to be me.
um, I'm done with technology, but I'm always excited to see what new technologies, what new apps are out there. Um, Literally at the touch of your fingertips, you could have anything you want, whether it be like all of your course outlines or your course notes or anything. Like even if it's like they use Teams, Zoom, Microsoft's Slack. Like you could open up a Zoom link if you're going on a walk and you want to attend lecture on a walk. Like technology is there to basically do anything from your phone. Like within a couple of seconds, I could turn on my music, have it go onto my headphones, and then keep walking. And as I go onto my computer, within a click, I could change to another song. It's amazing. Love it. Or I could switch to another app, or I could switch to doing something different completely. But I will say, I think that technology could be a lot better used these days, especially with some applications, which I'm not going to say, but I will say. Um, the COVID app, which is a great start for contact tracing. That's the use of technology that's been kind of lackluster at the beginning of the pandemic.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the COVID-19.
Download the app.
No, so yeah, no, and I think I should. And I know a lot of people are against it because of privacy issues, and that's a whole other topic that I don't think we should go too deep into now because there's a lot of sides to that debate. And I don't, and to be honest with you guys, I'm not too informed on what the privacy settings are in this particular app. And I know that these COVID-19, was it tracking or tracing? What
Tracing.
is it?
Tracing.
Tracing. So I know these have been used a lot in the east side of the world, like specifically, I think Singapore, Dubai has it, um, and some Asian countries, like I think China had it and Vietnam had it. Like these are some countries I've heard. Don't completely quote me on this, but I know that side of the world has been using it, and because they have obviously different government structures, people think very differently as well. It's also the mindset. Um, but yeah, now in terms of technology, so as Aaron said, he was going to mention a few applications. I guess some that come to mind, Aaron, and please add on to the list if you want. So obviously we got Zoom. I know you guys deal with Zoom a lot uh, for your classes, for your live classes, or you see recordings of Zoom lectures. It gets boring. It gets frustrating. You probably hate hearing the word Zoom. But like, come on, try other applications like Discord, there's Skype, there's FaceTime. And you know what? I say definitely spend a couple of hours if you're somebody who's very social and loves connecting with his friends. You know, instead of typing away on the screen, make an effort, make a group call, play some online games together. You know, there's so much out there. I know Among Us is a huge thing. Try that out. Play Uno online. There's a bunch of options. So I say throughout your day, at least take 1 or 2 hours to socially connect. Like I love gaming, for example. So I will take an opportunity when I can to like at least game for a couple of hours when possible.
Or even if you're swamped in work, which most of us are, and you're like in midterms, one thing to always do is you could call somebody who's studying a completely different subject, completely like different exam, and you could just like pretend like you're at a coffee shop. Like you would go to a coffee shop before COVID and be studying the same, but different things, but just be together. You could do the same thing, turn on whether you want your video on or off, doesn't matter. Call somebody. They could be doing work, you could be doing work, and you're just hanging out while you do work.
And another thing I'll say is now, in terms of being physically active, and I love speaking about this because a lot of gyms have shut down. I think they have shut down here again in Quebec due
Yep.
to the lockdown measures for the second wave. Now, look, there's no excuse, right? If you're somebody who enjoys working out, or even somebody who's trying to look into like getting a little bit more fit and go for walks. I'd say that's beginner level one. If you're somebody who's never exercised, go take a walk, man. Try to get those 10,000 steps a day. And for somebody who does work out, right now, look, I fortunately in my situation, I've actually bought dumbbells like way before this pandemic began. And I've always been a fan of home workouts, doing as much as you can through body weight dumbbells. If you have barbells or a pull-up bar, a punching bag, I've always been a fan of this equipment just to make use of my time so I don't have to go back and forth between the gym. But that was just my personal take on working out. But now since gyms are shut, people have to look towards this direction, right? So there's no excuse, guys. There's one app that I actually do recommend. It's called Exerprise. It actually gives you a bunch of workouts, which you can do body weight, dumbbell. You can make your own combination time interval workouts and also sets and reps. Basically, it's easy to get into. You do a little bit of research on it and spend an hour. I spend an hour working out. I'm not even gonna say two. You can get an efficient workout done between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the intensity you take. So try developing these habits. That's my next suggestion.
Yeah, there's so many apps out there, whether you use the one that most suggested, or you even go on YouTube and type in, I want to do yoga today, and you just type in yoga, you'll find something. You may not like it, but take the time to try out different options and see what you like. Ask your friends because chances are they're in the same boat and doing the same thing. So just like ask around and see what options are out there before you commit to doing anything. Or like even just try it out of the sake of saying, you know what, I haven't moved except for ordering Uber Eats. I haven't moved anywhere in the last month. I'm gonna do something just to move around. So yeah, try out the technology. Like you don't have to have a Fitbit, which is really cool, or an Apple Watch, or like the Samsung equivalent. You don't need that high tech gadget to be able to do a workout. You need a phone, a computer screen, maybe at most a yoga mat or a space to do it. That's about it.
That's
Doesn't
it.
require that much more.
It's all like, look, you're gonna see a lot of YouTubers like when you may get intimidated watching. So for people who love Instagram, who love scrolling through their news feed, when you start seeing like how fit people are on Instagram, especially those influencers who post videos of them doing certain workouts, right? Now, look, I'm telling you guys right now, don't get intimidated by those. These are people who do it for
Livelihood.
for their livelihood, right? Look, you're not them. You're focused on other things. You're trying to divide between a bunch of things, especially university, right? Especially since I think our crowd target is university students, right? So that's why I said university students. But hey, even for people who work in professional fields right now, you guys have maybe a family to take care of. You guys are working part-time or working full-time, trying to squeeze a bunch of things in. And look, don't overcomplicate anything. Always start with the basics on anything you do. Don't try to take a step ahead, because trust me, you're going to end up backtracking. You're not going to be motivated doing anything. So whatever you do, start with the fundamentals, start with the basics, and move your way up, especially if you start developing more of an interest towards that said activity.
I'm laughing because it's like deviating so far from urban planning. But you know what? When we're talking about urban planning and development, it's about the people behind it. So we need healthy people. We need people who aren't overwhelmed, aren't overburdened, aren't always
I have something
stressed.
to say now. Okay. Now people may be thinking, yo, aren't you guys the urban platform? Where's the urban planning into this? Look, let me make an argument right now. Okay. If you can't plan out your day properly, then what makes you think you can be a good urban planner?
Very good. Yeah. 100%. But yeah, just keep in mind, urban planning is about planning for people. As much as some people are going to say it's about planning for cars, which it's definitely not. I mean, depending on your opinion. Some people are going to say it's all about planning for the environment. You could believe what you want, but I personally believe it's about planning for people. And if you're planning for people, you just need to have healthy people, whether it's because they know how to manage their times, because they're using technology properly. Um, I want to bring up an app or like a concept of an app. There's all these apps that like limit your screen time, monitor your screen time. I mean, the first couple of days I've looked at those apps and I've gone, how could I be on the screen 6 hours? And this was only my cell phone. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the screen all day. It's a little too much. But there's ones where, like, if you get off Twitter or Facebook for an hour, it waters a plant and the plant grows. And every time you check Facebook, the plant dies. um, you could do it something like that. Or it's like there's an app that tells you to drink water, which I find hilarious because it's a natural habit. If you need an app to drink water, download that app. But it's basically like the same concept where if you don't drink water, the tree dies, and you don't want your tree or your cat dying on your phone.
So I just wanted to dude, I'm dead because I wanted to just add one point about the whole drinking water thing. I've noticed people on their reminders, which is a really smart thing. I'm not bashing them, but I just found it personally pretty funny, where people on their reminders would go ahead and put make sure you drink water,
Yeah.
like reminding themselves.
Yeah.
I find that really interesting. I find that
And
smart, really, really, really smart. So props to you, but I still kind of find it funny.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like whatever you do, just keep doing it because you're doing great at it.
Yeah.
But I would also say this ties into an interesting concept that I would like to see a lot more of. Mo, remember Pokemon Go? Did you ever have it?
So I did, but look, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't big into Pokemon, so I had it for like a month and then
Peace out, bye.
peace out, bye. But I had it enough to speak about the experience behind
Okay.
it
Well,
and
I
what
just
it
bring
did.
it up. I just
Yeah.
bring it up because as planners, we always try finding ways to get people outside, get people doing stuff.
Mhm.
I remember when Pokemon Go was first a thing, or even now that it's a thing again. People were just going outside and going to places that they've never been to in their life because they were able to catch Pokemon. um, and I think that concept of gamification, whether it be like you go outside and you get 10 points to life, okay, maybe that's like too much Ready Player One. Whoops. I think that concept of tying it to a game, like people spend hours and hours playing Call of Duty so that they could have the highest or lowest kill death ratio. People spend hours
Hi,
playing League of
Katie.
Hi KD, right? People spend hours playing League of Legends when you're what are you doing? Building civilizations, killing people? Okay, maybe killing people you can't really do in real life. Um wink wink.
Oh no. This
No,
podcast
no.
is gonna get taken down. It was only episode 2. It was nice knowing you guys. Okay, go ahead.
um yeah, there's a concept of like getting points for whatever you do.
Yeah.
If you tie that to an app, I think it works really well. Like for instance, if you drink water today, you get 10 points and your tree is safe, then more people are likely to do it. Or if you do this assignment, you get 10 points. I think gamification is a really cool concept. I'd love to
Mhm.
see more of it. And I bring up Pokemon Go because it's one of the best examples. It's an app that was developed. People downloaded in the thousands, maybe millions. I don't have the exact numbers. But they were going out and exploring the city because they were tied to their Pokemon and the chance of catching Pikachu. At least that was my hope. I didn't catch Pikachu.
Honestly though, I think Pokemon Go was one of the most intelligent approaches to getting people outside. Usually games, video games, or any other social media platforms, or anything that is media tends to make you want to stay inside, or just because that's your activity. Why would you want to go out? This gave people an incentive to go out, and I find it literally so intelligent. The whole approach to it and the whole idea of Pokemon Go literally amazed me. And I'm somebody who didn't really follow much Pokemon when I was younger. So, but when I look at this from the outside, I'm like, wow, this is intelligent. This is the
Yeah.
best of both worlds in a way. You think about our modern society, you think about the technology we have, and then you think about how our parents would always say that, oh, when I was your age, I would basically go outside. I would be spending time outside every single day, right? We had no technology, we had nothing to rely on. Well, not saying they didn't have any
Yeah.
technology, but they didn't have as much as we did, right? So, and I feel like it was, I feel like essentially it was a mix, a mix of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's, I have to like really give it to Pokemon Go. They created something amazing, and I think it's something that can be used safely even today during COVID.
And even in times where it's not safe, I don't know. I find a lot of people looking down at their phone when they're crossing the street. I'm a victim of it. Um, but there are apps being developed or systems being developed so that if you're looking down at your phone, you could see whether you could cross the street or not. I know in the Netherlands they actually have a traffic light that is red. It's on the ground, so you could see it when you're looking down on your phone. They obviously have one above too, but it's down on the ground. It's red and green, so it could tell. And the crosswalk changes colors to see if you're able to go or not. So this is sad part about technology. We're always looking down at our screens, but like I think it's pretty cool to say that there's that kind of technology. Like, hey, we're using our phones, or it's like it sends you a notification. Hey, look up.
And I think this is the perfect time. I feel like this was actually the perfect time to bring up pedestrian priority. And look, like pedestrians are always prioritized, especially once it comes to being outdoors, traffic situations. I get that. But look, don't let the pedestrian priority mindset get to you, especially being a pedestrian, because look, don't abuse it. Okay, you're looking down on your phone and crossing the road. Be a little mindful of your surroundings. Look left, look right, look straight, look wherever you have to. Don't look up in the sky unless something's like getting thrown at you. But listen, don't be. Can I say a word? Okay, no. You know what? I'm gonna keep it very respectful, and I'm gonna keep it as. But I also want to be very straightforward about this. Okay, be respectful, be smart. Okay, don't let the whole pedestrian priority mindset get to you. That's the main point. Be safe. It's for your safety. Okay, and respect the drivers around you because they stopped. They're letting you cross. Follow directions. Be just be a good person. That's that's what it is.
Be a good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. People should look up from their phone. Like, make eye contact with the driver. Like, people don't remember how to make eye contact, and it's a little disappointing.
Oh, and especially when somebody stops, especially if it's the driver's right of way to go and you have no business of crossing, you better give them eye contact and give them a quick like thank you.
Yeah.
Like just be respectful about it because it was their right technically to go and they let you cross. They had no business doing that. So make sure just think of these small things when you guys go outside, right? And in terms
And it's
of
not like you could text them and go, hey, bud,
yeah,
KK, thanks.
exactly.
You can't do that. Or KKTHX.
Wait, what is THX? Oh my god, I was gonna ask him like, what is THX? What are you talking about?
You know when the movie comes on?
Oh my god.
Old
Um,
school movies.
Old school. Oh yeah. No, now it literally came to me right now. Dude, but another thing that I would propose is, especially for quarantine and being at home. Okay, look, obviously this is very personal, but if you're close to your family, spend time with your family a little bit more. Okay, I know all need our individual time, our free time, but spend time with them. You have more of an opportunity to right now, and you get to probably understand more about each other than you did before because you're not so busy with your outside life anymore. So that's another thing. Pick up on some habits or some hobbies that you sort of lost throughout the years. You know, like for example, I used to play the guitar back in like seventh, eighth grade. I actually feel like I was actually talking to my parents today. I feel like I want to pick back up on that.
Yes, please pick it up and serenade me with a love song.
Of course, man. I'm gonna perform for all of you guys on the podcast with my very very average guitar skills. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. Definitely a great time to pick up some hobbies, some habits that you used to do. I have this camera sitting on my desk as a motivation. I haven't opened it in a while, but I do love going for photo hunts, photo journeys.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just like a great time to get out and do stuff like that. Um, I have another question for you, Mel. In
Yeah.
terms of technology, what would you like to see happen, or what do you think would make your life better?
Are you talking about the existing technology that exists right now and how it
Yeah, like what are you most excited about, especially in these times?
look, in these times, it'll give a lot of companies the incentive to expand on their technology, whether to make current existing applications much better, perform at another level, um, new technological devices being released, and hopefully better pricing so it can be more affordable. Because I want people to use or have accessibility to technology that is also practical, but at the right price, right? And look, to be fair, you can always find any device at a practical price if you actually do your research, right? But I notice a lot of people love to go for the best or what can deliver the performance, but you could probably find the same types of headphones or same types of laptop for a better price, maybe a different company, but this is what I call like smart purchasing, right? So, but hopefully what my main point is that hopefully these devices will be more accessible and easily identifiable. So that's what I'm hoping. And I'm hoping people in general, like just from a social standpoint, use technology more efficiently, you know, like for a better purpose. Look, you have a laptop, a phone, especially with the phones we have these days, you can gather you can learn so much, right? I feel like people don't use it well. I feel like a majority of us don't use. I'm here to blame as well. Everyone is here to blame. We like wasting our time with all the great fun features, but come on, use use the practical features. I know I've said the word practical quite a few times during this podcast, but I think it's important because this is about living a practical lifestyle during COVID-19. And yeah, I have one more idea for our viewers and listeners of what they could do. But Aaron, before I say, do you have anything else, like any other tips you can probably give?
So one thing I would do is get off social media. It's a waste of time. I mean, I'm victim. I spent like all weekend on Twitter because it's NHL free agency. And I was looking up at every single rumor possible. And do I admit it was a waste of time? Hell yeah, it was a waste of time. Like, absolute waste of time. But that's another story. But what I will say is get off social media. Um, but I think, yeah, we don't know how to use technology properly or efficiently. Like the fact that I'm using two screens on a daily basis shows that I don't use technology efficiently, or two screens and a phone and whatever else, right? It shows that I don't use technology
Hey,
efficiently.
I argue that you do use it efficiently.
Listen, I'm
Yeah,
not
well,
Tony
you could make
Stark.
an argument for that. I can back you up on that. But and did I answer your question properly?
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit more specific.
I was it answered my question. Now I'm gonna add something that I'm excited to see. Before COVID, there was heavy emphasis on touchless surfaces, right? Like there was the introduction of the tap for debit cards, credit cards, or whatever a couple of years ago, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is a waste of time," blah blah blah. Personally, I find that like revolutionary right now. You don't have to touch anything. You literally just put your card on the machine. Great. Or I've seen these crosswalks where you just wave your hand and the light changes for pedestrians. Yes, touchless technology, the way to go. Like Opus card, you don't touch anything. You place your Opus card on the reader, that's it, that's all. Or like um, maybe a hologram one day. I'm all for holograms. And instead of like touching your screen, you touch it virtually and it does everything for you. Like we have a lot of touch on our phones. I'd like to see that technology integrated into a little bit of everything.
Of course. And look, guys, remember one thing, okay? Just because a product that releases isn't useful now, that doesn't mean it'll be useful later on. And Aaron brought a great example of that. Touchless technology is one of them. And tapping your card, your debit or credit card, look how useful it is now, right? Before COVID, it was just a faster way to pay. You just tap and you leave. But hey, now you tap because you're paying faster, and it puts in the safety element in there. So keep aware, like just because you see a product in the store and you think like, okay, why would it be useful? Sure, it's not useful for you today, but probably tomorrow you're going to find a need for it. So,
or even Uber Eats. I remember at the beginning of it, I was kind of laughing and going like, why would I Uber Eats McDonald's? That I could drive to McDonald's.
yeah.
But nowadays I'm like, wow, I could Uber Eats McDonald's, great. And I'm like, and there's like no contact whatsoever. And I didn't think I'd ever say I'd be using Uber Eats, but or like Skip or Dish or whatever, whichever one you prefer. But now I'm like, yeah, I recommend that app. It's a good purchase or a good app to have on your phone.
Exactly. And obviously order if you have to, but if it's nearby, just go drive through, guys. Don't
Yeah.
rely on that completely. So yeah, that's a whole talk, for another time when technology is not useful. But now we're talking about the uses. If applied properly, technology will be useful, and useful just enough. You don't want to go overboard, and that's for you guys to figure out. Maybe we can talk about that as well, how maybe people are too reliant on technology, but that's just not the topic we're going to deal with today. So I guess one last point I wanted to mention, Aaron, is like take this time as well. Experiment with yourself, whether that be like, okay, grow out your hair a little longer, if you're a guy, then grow out your beard. Experiment with new looks, like obviously try to have as much of a healthy lifestyle as you can. Don't go away from that. But hey, if you want to experiment with that too, I'm not one to judge. Nobody's here to judge. So take time for yourself. This is a little bit more of a philosophical advice. Find yourself, find what you're really passionate about. Find what you really want out of life, like what is actually important to you. That's subjective, and that's my last tip. So Aaron, I think I want to end this off, man. Do you have anything
I want
else
to
to
end
add
it,
on
but
to
I
that?
have like a one word on that.
Say it.
When you're thinking about yourself, go back to your roots. Go back to what defines you. Go back to what you do best. If it's sitting in front of the TV and watching Friends, watch Friends.
Oh
If
yeah.
it's sitting and calling your friends and raging about the Avengers, call your friends and rant about the Avengers. If it's watching Harry Potter in order and knowing every line, do it. You do you. And that is the Urban Platform.
That is the Urban Platform, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. If you watch the whole thing through, we appreciate it so much. So, yep, take care, guys. Good night and have a
Sorry
great
for a
week.
little tirade. That's what we do. Better than tyranny.
Definitely. Anyways, take care, guys. See you.
Have a good one. Until next time.